I've just picked up the brand new 1100 lumen Philips Hue color lights. How much brighter are these lights when using color? And are the colors just as rich? Stick around to find out. Hey everyone, I'm Lloyd, and this channel is all about HomeKit tech. If you've watched my previous videos, then it's no surprise that I'm a fan of Philips Hue. In part because Philips Hue lights were the first accessories in my personal smart home journey. But despite being amongst the most expensive on the market, Philips Hue has never disappointed me when it comes to both quality and reliability. And when it comes to their product line, it's vast with a wide variety of lights from standard bulbs to filament bulbs, fixtures, light strips, and a whole lot more. And while I focus on the Apple HomeKit ecosystem, Philips Hue also works with other smart home assistants as well, such as Alexa and Google. In fact, Philips Hue has recently announced some exciting new products, including new filament bulbs that can change color temperature and a new candle shape for filament bulbs. A gradient light tube. This sits below your TV and works with the HDMI sync box. The Hue ambient gradient light strip that can display multiple colors at the same time. And a new ceiling light called Infuse, just to name a few of the new products just out or coming out soon. Justin Tech recently released a great video where he goes over all of the new products that were announced, including information on release dates. I'll add a link to the description, so you should check that out. After this video, of course. One update that I was super excited about was the addition of the 1100 and 1600 lumen options for Hue White Ambience and Color A19 light bulbs. 800 lumens is pretty standard, but the 1100 and 1600 lumen options will provide significantly more light. 800 lumens is basically a 60 watt equivalent, while 1100 lumens is the 75 watt equivalent, and then 1600 would be similar to a 100 watt incandescent. Increasing the light output provides a lot more options without having to add additional light bulbs to a room. Of course, you can always dim the lights, but the ability to add additional light when needed is so helpful. The 1600 lumen bulb won't be out until October 12th, but the 1100 lumen bulb is out right now in Europe and the US. Unfortunately, it's not currently available in Canada, though it can be purchased from the US Amazon store and then shipped to Canada, and this is what I did. To be clear, I did purchase this on my own. Either way, I'll always provide my honest feedback, but I like being as transparent as possible. As far as a release date in Canada, Philips Hue told me they don't have any information on this yet, so my guess is that it'll be a few months away. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I will share any updates as I get them. If holding out for the 1600 lumen option, then keep in mind that the bulb is slightly larger, so there's a good chance it may not fit into all light fixtures. Philips Hue already has a 1600 lumen bulb in white that's been available for a while. Personally, I lean towards the white ambiance and the color bulbs, since I'm not a huge fan of the warm temperature of the standard white light bulbs. That's what's great about the 1100 lumen bulb, is that the form factor is the same, so it easily fits into any standard light fixture. I'm excited to test this out and see how much brighter it gets, not only using white light, but also the various colors as well. So stick around for that. These lights connect to the Philips Hue bridge and communicate using Zigbee. I've been using Philips Hue for nearly 3 years now, and they have been extremely reliable and quick to respond. Like many of the new Hue lights, they can work with Bluetooth instead of the Hue bridge, but it's not something that I personally recommend since it doesn't work with HomeKit. There's other limitations with Bluetooth as well, such as only being able to connect up to 10 Hue lights, and of course it's slower. It's a nice option for someone with only a couple of lights, and if you're not using HomeKit. Just know that the bridge will increase performance and allow for more devices. So let's see this new 1100 lumen bulb compared to the original 800 bulb, and I'm also going to compare this to another one of my favorites, the Nanoleaf Essentials A19 bulb. Nanoleaf uses thread and it only costs $25. The Hue app has been redesigned, so if you haven't added any new Hue lights recently, then you'll definitely notice a difference. Adding new lights is easier than ever. From the Hue app, simply click Add Light, then Search, and Hue is going to look for any new lights that have been installed. Of course, you do need to make sure here that your lights are powered on. You can then click Start Configuration, where you can name your lights and select the light type. Finally, once each of your new lights has been configured, you can move it into a new room simply by dragging the light to the desired room. There's also some really cool new scenes available to you in the Hue Scene Gallery. This is especially great for rooms with several Hue lights. Okay, now let's test out these new lights. Originally, I recorded each of these lights separately and I wanted to show you in a triple split screen, but you couldn't really see much of a difference since my camera is compensating for any lack of light. I then physically installed these lights in side-by-side lamps with a divider in the middle. This did help, but I assure you the camera doesn't do these lights justice, and the difference was definitely brighter and more noticeable than what you are seeing here. Here's a comparison of the original 800 lumen bulbs versus my 1100 lumen ones. In person, the brightness between the original 800 lumen and 1100 lumen bulb was pretty obvious, not only when using white light, but the different colors as well. The color intensity was also very similar between these two lights. Interestingly, the 1100 lumen bulbs were slightly faster. Perhaps this is simply due to newer upgraded hardware. Next, let's test this against one of my Nanoleaf bulbs, which advertises a max brightness of 1100 lumens with an average brightness of just over 800. I love the Nanoleaf bulbs, they do such a great job for only $25. And did you notice how fast Nanoleaf was as well since it uses thread? Honestly, the few milliseconds isn't significant overall, but it's still impressive. You can definitely see why the Philips Hue bulbs cost more though. The Philips Hue bulbs were clearly much brighter, especially when using colors other than white. Like I said, Nanoleaf does a great job and there's so much to love. Especially for accent lights, Nanoleaf is a cost-effective way to really increase the ambiance of a room. But you do get what you pay for with Hue, and for me, the added brightness is such a welcome addition. The 1100 lumen bulb currently sells on Amazon for $49.97 US per bulb, or $89.99 for a 2-pack. It's about an additional $10 as compared to the original 800 lumen bulbs, so not a substantial additional cost. Affiliate links will be in the description if you're interested. So do I think it's worth the upgrade? If you already have Hue colored lights and they're working well, then no, I wouldn't upgrade. If you're looking to add additional bulbs, or if you're looking to increase the light level in certain areas of your house, these are a great choice and I recommend the upgrade. It's worth it. I'm going to install these in my son's bedroom. His current light fixture only has 2 bulbs, and since my son loves keeping his lights blue, the color can be a little dim even at max brightness. Since this fixture has 2 lights, I'm increasing the max brightness by 600 additional lumens. And there's a trickle-down effect because now I can move my son's existing Hue colored lights into my bedroom side tables to add some much needed color. And then I can take the white ambiance bulbs that are currently in our side table and move them into our stairwell to finally get rid of the standard Hue 2700 Kelvin white bulbs that produce a much more yellow light than I prefer. Boom! One upgrade just solved 3 problems. Of course, these lights, like all Hue lights, work with some of my favorite accessories like the Hue dimmer switch and the Lutron Aurora wall switch. I've done videos on both of these products and I highly recommend them both. I'll include a link in the description so you can check out those videos later if you wish. Of all the new Hue products that have been released or announced, which are you most excited for? Drop me a comment. Just maybe I'll get a chance to do a review before you decide to buy. That's it for this week's video. I appreciate you sticking around till the very end. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.